Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Ball Brad Show. Heck, it is officially Tuesday, August 6th. We're just a few short months away from the 2024 presidential election. People are saying it's the most important election of our lifetime. They just might very well be correct, especially after the market crash yesterday. What's going on with Israel and Iran, which we're expecting to see some sort of element of an attack, whether that's today or tomorrow. We have our warships over there. I mean, things are burning all around us, and Democrats will still, yes, you heard that correctly, folks, Democrats will still go out of their way to vote Democrat. They don't mind paying the high prices. They don't mind going to the grocery store and getting rainbow behind. They absolutely love it, folks. And you know what? We might just very well know Kamala Harris's VP pick that she was allegedly supposed to announce yesterday. Well, I saw a video of a certain somebody being picked up in a motorcade yesterday. And, well, you saw them in the thumbnail, folks. So I think we have the tickets prepared, shown. They're in the thumbnail today, folks. But make sure you support us by hitting that like button. Shib, Dizzy, we got Riggs in there. We got Heather. Good morning, everybody. The Architect, awesome freaking name. Donuts, Gavin, good to see you. Mizzy, Karen Catmom, Jeremy. We got a lot of people. Patrick's in here. We got all the Patriots. So let's jump right in the news today, folks. We got Crazy Nancy. And I really do mean Crazy Nancy. Is she okay? Like, what the hell's going on with Nancy here? And she's making her rounds, but I think it speaks for itself. Here we go.
Whether it's, well, the first bill that protect our assault, our bill, COVID, shots in the arm, money in the pockets, children in school, people at work, the infrastructure bill, building in a way that is respectful of communities, chips and science, whether it's, well, the first bill.
She's a robot. She's a freaking robot. The money in the pocket and the fucking, what the fuck is it? The shot in the arm, like, she got, yeah. Oh my God. You know, can we just bring a callback of like when Nancy Pelosi appears to be drunk on the news outlets? I hadn't intended to show this, but since it's already queued up, let's go ahead and present Nancy Pelosi. This is the Democrats, folks. I mean, this was an epitome of what the Democrats used to look like. Then they got Joe Biden in office and just took it a step further. And now with a hardcore Marxist quasi-communist being potentially the next president of the United States, being Kamala Harris, I mean, it makes kind of sense. Here we go.
Healthcare professionals who think that Trump has dementia, that his his thoughts do not go together.
I just had to play that beginning, that he has dementia, that his thoughts don't go together. As I've mentioned, it really is true. Whatever you see the Democrats come out on the mainstream media and talk about, it's really just their own party whenever it's something negative about Trump. That's really all it is. He's a racist. You're actually the party of racism. He wants to destroy the country. That's what you guys have been doing for the last, 10 years. He wants to sit there and increase taxes on the middle class. That's actually what Kamala Harris wants to do. Yes, that's what you guys want to do. So whatever you see them say about us, it's really just themselves. And as I've always said, there's like not a mirror in the vicinity of any Democrat in terms of them going onto the media and espousing a bunch of nonsense. So here's a crazy Nancy denying Democrats have a big problem with anti-Semitism. There's a reason why Kamala didn't pick or is not going to pick Shapiro, because he's Jewish.
Congressman Jake Auchincloss said today that there is a strong undercurrent of anti-Semitism to the fight against Shapiro. Do you think that's true?
Well, I certainly hope not. No, I think it's probably more about policy. But the decision will be made by our candidate for president of the United States. And it's important for people to weigh in as they think.
Congressman Jake Auchincloss said today.
God, man, it's sad they're still shelving her out in the same way they shelved Joe Biden out. Like, she just cannot let the power grab go. It's really sad to see an individual like that. Like, she is just so into politics and the power that she just will not disappear and actually retire and go off into the sunset. And then they're puppeting her out there. I mean, it's really rough to see. We just saw the clip. She couldn't even remember what a shot was. She's like, the thing that goes in your arm that looks like this. So speaking of cringy, I got a lot of video clips, folks. We got to wake up in the morning here. Get the energy going. Here's some highly cringy stuff. This went viral yesterday, folks, and we're going to be transitioning into Kamala Harris. And no, Kamala's not transitioning from what we know of, but you understand what I mean. Here's her saying that, we need to keep going woke. Okay.
We have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah. We have to stay woke.
What? What the hell did I just watch? We saved these for real-time reactions. What the hell was that? We're gonna stay woke? And why are you the only one laughing in the group? Are you high? You gotta stay full woke. You can't be half woke. It's like, what the hell are you talking about, lady? This is who people want to run, folks. This is who people want to run. And you know what? When you see her talk like that, there's no policy coming out or agenda, really. I mean, I guess there kind of is to stay woke. But what we're seeing from Kamala Harris's websites is there's no policy positions. There's actually nothing going on from her. So Kamala Harris's official website lists no policy positions or a platform whatsoever. So basically, Democrats are putting her forth, and the reason why I put that in air quotes for those on audio is because nobody actually voted for her. Democrats just chauffeured her out there, and I'm talking like the elites. I'm not talking about the average Joe Americans like you or I. And nobody knows her position. How could you? She doesn't talk about it. She doesn't sit there and go and debate it out with Donald Trump on Fox News on September 4th, because she won't do that. She won't take interviews from the press. You guys, it's been 16 days. She hasn't done an interview with hardball questions yet. 16 days. I think that she's going to be doing no interviews until after she's the Democrat nominee. And then once she has it in the bag, I'm going to go full Marxist. You guys are screwed. I'm taking your guns. So with only 15 days remaining before the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, political analysts, pundits, and social media users are noting that Harris's official campaign website, it's not like a one-off, you know what I mean? It's not like a random site. It's her main site. Lacks any mention of policies she plans to advance should she win this fall's presidential election. Visitors to the site are greeted by a landing page soliciting donations in amounts of $25, $47, $100, $250, $5,000, or another amount. Contributions are processed through Act Blue, who allegedly is taking people's money from billionaires and funneling it through other random donators. For example, let's say us here in the Bald Brad community, we're donating $25 each to Donald Trump. Okay. Well, say theoretically that Donald Trump was using Act Blue and had a billionaire like Elon Musk say, hey man, I'm going to give you $40 million. Well, you can't do that. So what Act Blue will do is take that 40 million and distribute it over every single person's donation. So all of a sudden you're donating, $200,000 to Donald Trump, each and every one of us, when in actuality, we only did 25. That comes pretty much from what James O'Keefe is doing of exposing Act Blue and what they're doing here. So it's kind of this whole grassroots, Kamala Harris just got $250,000 million overnight. Pull a Joe Biden there, 250 trillion billion million. It just doesn't make sense. So granted, they probably have been working behind the scenes on this for quite some time to get her as the next president of the United States. There's a lot of rumors swirling still about that one, but I wanted to show you guys that it's pretty interesting that she's being chauffeured out as possibly the next president of the United States. Nothing. She hasn't done anything in her career other than destroy a state, as well as help destroy the country while working with Joe Biden, the dead house plant in the White House. And then she hasn't done anything since. Now she's a nominee, allegedly, not official, but you understand what I mean. And what has she done still? She can't go out and do an interview. She can't take any hardball questions. She's only been reading from a teleprompter. And when she doesn't read from a teleprompter, we've seen what it sounds like. It's terrible. Oh, they're back there. The hostages it's great that they're back. Like, she just is, there's nothing here. It's like she was like a extreme drug addict, and it's just the brain melted. You know what I mean? So here she is. It says 15 days here. It's officially, as of today, 16 days since she has done any sort of major interview. And the media are totally okay with it. Nobody's going up there asking Karine Jean-Pierre. Granted, Karine Jean-Pierre is not the spokesperson for Kamala Harris, but it's still a great question to pose of, hey, why is it her and Joe have a constant theme of not doing any interviews, and you're going on 16 days? Can you imagine if Donald Trump didn't do an interview for 16 days? The hysteria of the media and how they would react to all of this? They would lose their minds. Oh, where's Donald? He's not fit to hold office. 25th Amendment, get rid of the guy. He's going to tear around the country. That's basically what they would do. So it's been 2 weeks and 2 days since President Joe Biden abandoned his re-election campaign and bumped his running mate at the top of the ticket. Like, I don't think Joe Biden had any involvement in that. I think the man had a gun to his head and was like, we're going to get rid of you anyways. That was the rumor, right? Was Barack Obama called the dude up and was like, hey, man, we're going to put forth the 25th Amendment. We have Kamala Harris ready to go on it. She's going to approve it. And basically, while this dude chauffeured off somewhere else on vacation, they sat there and implemented somebody else. That's the rumor mill behind the scenes. Now, is it true? I don't know, but I love a good conspiracy theory nonetheless. In that time, Vice President Kamala Harris has not sat down with the press for a single, yes, no, we're not parsing words here, a single long-form interview, and no upcoming ones have been announced. What is she going to talk about? What's the media kit look like where it has potential questions on her platform in terms of what's your policies? What you going towards? Now, there's a huge problem right now, folks. This is why this is such a big deal, is because all we have is to go on is video clips from the past of when she was working in California, and then when she was running for president, and then the things that she said when she was vice president. Like, everything we have of her is looking back into the past, but everything we're hearing from her spokespeople and these surrogates coming out of the Democrat Party, oh, well, she's flipped. She's all of a sudden for fracking. Wait a minute. Oh, whoa. For like 10 years, she wanted to ban fracking and get rid of the fossil fuel industry. All of a sudden, just like that, she's going to switch like over a weekend? Really? Sounds like BS to me. No, she's for funding the police. You got to believe us. Really? Because I have her on tape saying she wants to defund the police. Like, she is not a fan of the local police departments protecting citizens. She wants to figure out the border. Really? Because she said she doesn't want to she doesn't want to have illegal immigrants be classified as criminals. Like, she wants to have open borders. No, that's what she wants, not what I'm saying. So all of a sudden, everything's just flip-flopped, really? But you have no policies? You don't have it in writing on your website? Find it hard to believe. It's not in writing. I don't know, folks. I see y'all in the live chat. Look at the live chat go. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. We got CC Riggs, the cackler. Yeah, Kamala is the cackler. Oh, man. We got LH here. Lucky Kong. Lucky Kong, you look new. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate that. Haven't seen that name in here before. Krager's here. Krager's here. Good to see you guys. Okay. So we got that one coming in the news. Now, what was fascinating was we have some White House drama, and I know y'all love a little bit of drama. You guys love the whole idea of that coup that was happening with Karine Jean-Pierre about a month or two ago, and how they were trying to oust her, but they couldn't because she's a DEI hire. Well, check this out. So allegedly yesterday, this all went down. Vice President Kamala Harris was dismissed early from a Situation Room meeting, sparking a wave of online discussion and speculation. The incident, referred to as the Kamala crash, trended on social media, with users expressing surprise and humor at her early exit. Some users questioned her competence and relevance as vice president, while others speculated on the reasons behind her dismissal, including potential tensions with President Biden. I think there was tensions. I don't think he likes her. I mean, you haven't really seen him go out and speak on the podium at one of her campaign events. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't seen it. I don't see him going out like you would see Donald Trump show out for rallies, or say people showing out for like Tim Cotton, for example, or Tim Scott going out and showing up for Donald Trump and speaking before he comes out and speaks. Like, you would think if you support her as a candidate that you would be out there speaking on her behalf. It ain't happening. Really, all I've seen is that dude have her there when the hostages came, and I'm telling you, folks, it wasn't his decision. I guarantee you he didn't want her there. No way in hell. She had no involvement in it, and they're playing it up as if she did because she needs some sort of good news to come out for her. And then the only other thing I saw with him was they had lunch together. Mind you, all summer, the last 2 months, they've only seen each other a total of 6 times in person. That makes 7. And it was a photo op, and they were sitting at like tail ends of the table. You know what I mean? Like, it was a really long table too, and they're eating like a burger. They're like both turned to the camera like, ah, not a single bite. They hate each other. I guarantee you, they hate each other. So that was a big speculation yesterday that she was removed. They say she, dismissed. She's probably removed. Well, here is Peter Doocy basically trying to figure out, is that the vice president leaving already? In live, like real reaction. Here we go.
We've got a sizable motorcade repositioning on Pennsylvania Avenue, so it's possible that it looks like I can see behind the camera. The vice president's vehicles are leaving right now, so it would seem that at least her part in the Situation Room is done. She will now go back to the Naval Observatory.
It was an intense moment for the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America, and I was in almost every meeting with the president.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that the meeting's over in the Situation Room.
Correct. We've got a...
Oh, she was there. They had to take roll. They had to take attendance. And then she was like, yeah, I want to be involved in this. And they're like, yeah, no, peace out, bitch. You're gone. So speaking of Kamala Harris and kind of terrible news coming out for her, I mean, is there any good news with Kamala? Like, what has she, I really do mean this. Like, what has she done? Like, what is her policies that is so great that Democrats are streaming to arenas and she's getting $250 million overnight and everybody's just, woo, she's great. She's awesome. She's the best. Groupies. Well, Biden-Harris administration has released, you guys ready for this one? At least 99 times illegal aliens on terror watch list. Oh, can you imagine this headline coming out like right after 9/11? I'm talking like the weekend after. Could you imagine? Oh, the President of the United States just let in 99 terrorists. Democrats are totally cool with it, guys. Democrats are totally cool with it. They love this. I told you, they love this stuff. They'll go out of their way to vote for this. A new congressional report released on Monday revealed that the Biden-Harris administration, remember, she said that she's with them. She's in every meeting, right? You heard it from the horse's mouth. She's with it. They go hand in hand. They're partners in this, according to Karine Jean-Pierre. Well, the Biden-Harris administration has released at least 99 illegal aliens into the U.S. who were on the terror watch list. No, not a big deal. The vetting question was only one question. Who you voting for? Are you going to vote for us? You going to vote for Biden-Harris? Oh, come on in. Come on. You want a flight? You're scared of flights? Don't worry. We got cars and trains. Where do you want to go, big guy? Where do you want to go? Oh, you want to go to New York? You sure? Kind of ditzy there. It's not good. Yeah, okay, all right. New York it is. And they'll show from the New York. So the report on the House Judiciary Subcommittee on Immigration, Integrity, and Security, God, and Enforcement, all of which they're not doing, comes as the U.S. has faced a historic surge. 10 million plus that we know about. Quite frankly, let's just take 1/3 of that. You're looking at 13 million people pouring across the border since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been running things. Under the Biden-Harris administration, of the more than 250 illegal aliens on the terror watch list who were encountered at the border, 99 were just let loose. No big deal, guys. No big deal. Unbelievable. Mind you, that means they were encountered and they looked up on the list and was like, you this guy? Yes, sir. You this guy here on terror watch list? Yes, sir. All right, come on in. No big deal. Just vote Democrat. We'll get your registration on that voter registration figured out for you real quick. So wild stuff there. We have some stuff here from Jim Jordan as well, speaking of legal immigration. He said during fiscal year 2024, Border Patrol hasn't encountered 10 of thousands of illegal aliens from countries that could present national risks to security. Over 2,000 from Afghanistan, 33,000 from China, over 500 from Iran, over 500 from Syria, and over 3,000 from Uzbekistan. Now we have this kind of not hitting the mainstream media at all, which is weird. It's funny how they don't want to classify her as the border czar, but they don't want to classify her as anything. The mainstream media is sitting there covering up the border as if the border's not an issue anymore. The economy is not an issue. The border's not an issue. Our foreign policy is not an issue. But if Donald Trump says, hey, I thought she was Indian, and it turns out she's black, all of a sudden, that's mainstream news. All of a sudden, now we got to talk about Kamala Harris's race and what she is. But we're not going to talk about her history. We're not going to talk about the things her and Joe Biden have done. And how could you talk about it? She doesn't do an interview. And when she does, again, we have to look in the past. So the border czar has denied that this was happening. Like all this stuff. Remember, the terrorist porn across, the violent gang members, the sex traffickers, the drugs, all that stuff. Yeah, gaslighting all of you. But yet, when we actually show the proof, we're told to be having disinformation, misinformation, all that stuff. So here we go.
This is irresponsible. It's the height of irresponsibility for the commander-in-chief to suggest that we have to build a wall across our southern border because there are terrorists who are trying to invade the country. It couldn't be farther from the truth. This is
We bring the receipts. I'm Batman.
Responsible. It's the height of irresponsibility for the commander-in-chief to suggest that we have to build a wall across our southern border because there are terrorists who are trying to invade the country. It couldn't be farther from the truth. This is irresponsible.
Couldn't be farther from the truth. It's preposterous. How could people believe such a thing? Because we have eyes and ears, lady. I mean, this is like so on par with Karine Jean-Pierre telling Peter Doocy, well, it's not like they're walking across the border. And Doocy was like, what? What? They literally are walking across the border, lady. We have video of it. Democrats want 4 more years of being lied to. I've always said, look, I get that they don't want to vote for Trump. I get it. Whatever. They got Trump derangement syndrome. But the fact that they're going to go out of their way and vote for this lady, woo, that's some next level stuff. And they're not just voting for her. Again, right now it's being said that this gentleman, Tim Waltz, is her VP. And let's see what this man has to say about sanctuary cities.
Should Minnesota be a sanctuary state?
If the definition of that is that the federal government enforces immigration law and local law enforcement enforces local law, then yes.
Should cities be allowed to be sanctuary cities?
Yes, local control.
Should Minnesota be a sanctuary state?
Now, why did I show that? Why did I show that? Well, Kamala Harris is one of the most left-leaning, or the most left-leaning senator in all the Senate when she was there. That's a remarkable statement because you got Bernie Sanders in that bad boy. And she makes Bernie look like a freaking conservative. So she needs to find somebody that's going to espouse her values and go up there and speak on her behalf. This guy wants sanctuary cities, no problem. Cities being crumbled by illegal aliens, infrastructure collapsing, don't have the funds, begging for the federal government to give you money because you can't keep pace with the inflow of what's going on. It doesn't matter to them, you guys. It really doesn't. What's my proof? This is breaking news right now. We might as well pull this up. This just happened an hour ago. Here we go. Harris in recent polls has shown a significant lead over Donald Trump in both New York and national surveys. The Siena Research poll indicates Harris leading Trump by 14 points in New York. It was a big deal that New York got trash cans. Like, it's 2024 and New York just got trash cans. Oh, We're coming into the modern era. Trash cans. Crime is through the roof in New York. Mugging is through the roof in New York. Assaults, murders, everything going on. They don't even have the money. Remember, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, was begging Joe Biden for well over $1 billion because he couldn't handle like 16 to 20,000 illegal immigrants. When Texas would see that in like a single day, he couldn't handle it. You're telling me you got an infrastructure over there? You got something where you can handle? Mind you, all these people were like, open borders. It wasn't, I'm not being facetious here. Open borders. If you can't handle 20,000 people, can you imagine opening up your borders to an entire globe of people that want to come here and utilize the welfare system, utilize our healthcare system, utilize this or that because it's some of the best? And you can't even handle 20,000. Can you imagine millions pouring into your city? They don't think. There's no there's short-term thinking. They'll think like, this project sounds great. Like, let's bring in millions of people because we got jobs to fill or something. And then it's like, yeah, but you can't even handle 10,000 people. Like, how are you going to handle like 1 million or 2? I don't know. Is there a rumor that Kamala Harris has officially picked her VP? Is that breaking yet? There we go. It's breaking. And I was right. Here we go. Reportedly, Harris has picked Governor Tim Waltz. Is that not in our thumbnail? I made that thumbnail yesterday at like 3 o'clock. That's why you come here for the Bald Brad Show, folks. I know. That's why you're here. He gets things right every now and then. Not all the time, but every now and then. Vice President Kamala Harris has, in fact, today named Minnesota Governor Tim Waltz as her running mate as she faces off against former President Donald Trump. So there you have it. And I think J.D. Vance is going to wipe the floor with that guy. I think he's going to wipe the floor. Remember, is Minneapolis in Minnesota? Minnesota was burned down by Black Lives Matter, and that guy could give 2 bleeps about it. They just ran right over that entire area. So you have this coming out from Epoch Times. You guys aren't going to like this. U.S. Appeals Court, defendants without a lawyer must be released from jail after 7 days if they don't have a defense attorney representing them. So just more people going into the interior of the country? Is that what it is, Epoch Times? Is that what our courts are allowing for stuff like that to take place? Got it. Okay. No. I can read between the lines. It's cool. Yeah. We already have 99 terrorists that we know about, even though the CIA said, hey, we have well over 1,000. No big deal, though. I mean, it poses a problem, you guys. You're seeing what Shib is dealing with in the UK right now. I mean, Shib has been talking about it in the chat. I see it. Remember, I'm always glancing over there. I see you guys. And so you had the British PM. Here you go, Shib. This one's for you, brother. British PM condemns anti-immigration protesters. He championed Black Lives Matter in 2020, though. So a young man was it Wandan descent, knifed a 3-year-old or young 3 women. Holy lordy. Death of 3 young girls, 6, 8, and 9. So this is going on. The suspect was arrested in the brutal murders. 8 other children were stabbed, as well as the teacher who tried to protect them. 5 of the children were left in critical condition. So basically, a guy went in there and conducted a mass slaughter of people with a knife. And, in the same way people do with guns. But don't worry, we don't want to ban knives, you guys, here in the United States. You can't ban knives. You can't ban cars or anything like that with people mowing people over. Nothing of the sort. So here's this idiot with the riots versus 2020. So when minorities riot, this is what he says.
Be in no doubt,
I was shocked.
Those that have participated in this violence,
the killing of George Floyd,
will face the full
and the
force
response
of the law.
President Trump.
The police
the US
will be
authorities
making arrests.
To the peaceful
individuals
protests,
will be
to
held
people
on
rightly
remand.
demanding justice.
Charges will follow,
has been an affront to
and
humanity.
convictions will
The last
follow.
week has shone a spotlight.
I guarantee
on the racism
you will regret taking part in this disorder,
and injustice
whether directly
experienced
or
by
those whipping
from
up
black
this
and
action
minority ethnic
online
communities
and then
in the
running
US,
away themselves.
in the UK.
This
Now, you almost wish whoever made this video would have showed the one on the left first and then the one on the right. But basically, you know, it's okay to go out and protest the United States, burn our cities down, destroy things. And then, well, he gets to this one, to the full extent of the law because white people are rioting. I don't think rioting is great at all. I don't think violence is good. I don't think any of that's good. But, you know, that's what you get from people is, you know, wish-washy, reading the wind. You know, he's a lefty. He's a lefty. Now, we want to get some updates in here for you all of prior articles, news stories that we covered. Do you remember that article? Or rather article. Well, that was an article, but we did like this test to see if Google was in fact suppressing Donald Trump information. And we did like that 2-minute video where we tried to Google Donald Trump and nothing would come up. And we tried it in different ways. Well, Google is just saying here, oh, it was just a bug, you guys. They think we're stupid. They think we're stupid, guys. Google told House Republicans that various bugs prevented information from Donald Trump from auto-completing when users tried to search for information about the former president or the assassination attempt against him. What about when you put in information about Donald Trump and then it populates positive information about Kamala Harris? That's weird. The search engine also claimed those bugs caused searches for Trump to generate articles about Vice President Kamala Harris. Really? Like you give them a laundry list of things. Oh, it was all bugs. Every single one. Bullshit. Bullshit. Get out of here with that. I don't mean the Cosby. You know what I'm talking. Come on. Nobody believes that crap. There we go. Jim Jordan says it's a vague excuse and told Google to prepare to answer more specific questions, including how can the American people be confident that a similar issue, whether intentional or not, will not occur again? Who owns YouTube, you guys? Who runs the show on YouTube? The Alphabet Soup, that company. Yeah, no joke. We posted a video over the weekend, and I had a subscriber write in the comment section, "Hey, dude, haven't seen you in a long time. Where you been? You been uploading or just shadow banned?" Guys, we do a morning show every day. Every day I'm here. And a longtime subscriber writes in, "Haven't seen you in forever. Where you been?" I've been here doing a show every morning, all summer, 7 a.m. Now we're doing 6 a.m., but you get it. So that's going on with Google, and I got other Google news because this one is freaking huge, by the way. This happened yesterday, and this has to go in what we covered with Rumble. That's why we're over here at Rumble now, folks, is because Google, this is crazy, folks. Google illegally maintains monopoly over internet search, judge rules. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know if things are going to get a little bit crazier with Google, but on Monday, it was ruled that Google's ubiquitous search engine has been illegally exploiting its dominance. I mean, no shit, right? It's not news, but it's news. To squash competition and stifle innovation, a seismic decision that could shake up the internet and hobble one of the world's best-known companies. The highly anticipated decision issued by the U.S. District Judge comes nearly a year after the start of a trial pitting the U.S. Justice Department against Google in the country's biggest antitrust showdown in a quarter century. They're being sued. Google's being sued for like billions by Rumble as well, because I could be butchering this. It seems as though Google is strong-arming companies and not allowing that revenue to be shared over multiple platforms, and I'm probably butchering this. But needless to say, that money's not going to where it should be going, and I think they're right. I think Google does have a monopoly on this, and I mean, I think the statistics kind of bear that out. Look at this. Google enjoys, you guys look at 89.2% share of the market for general search services, which increases to 95% on mobile devices. Yeah, that's a monopoly, meaning they very well could be, and I believe, are suppressing information from anybody they see fit. And then when it comes out and they're exposed for suppressing certain information, it was just a bug. Sorry. Really? This was a bug, but this was also a bug as well. And then you have a bug here, and it's all contributed in the same thing about one singular person, and we're supposed to believe that. They think people are idiots, you guys, and very well, they might be right. Maybe people are just stupid. Like, yeah, no, it's cool. It's just a bug fix. Yeah, not a big deal. Like the same people with Jeffrey Epstein when the guy had like 20 jumpsuits to hang himself with in a cell. The security cameras weren't working. All the guards were sleeping. You know, the guy's neck was broken, looked like he was assaulted. You know, it's like the more variables that you add into an equation, the less likelihood that it's that very thing that you're talking about. So, does that make sense? So, the more things that you include into the equation, the odds are it's not going to be what people are kind of saying it is, because it smells like doo-doo. It's not legit. It's not real. Well, speaking of things that smell like doo-doo, the Secret Service and the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. 20-year-old guy gets up on a roof 150 yards from the president and is able to just shoot the guy or at him 8 times. We didn't see him, but yet we have video of that guy just running back and forth. People engaged him 90 minutes beforehand. People are yelling, fucking guy on the roof. He has a gun. He's about to shoot the president. Holy shit. Not like 1 or 2, like 100 people. You know, and cops are moseying, walking around. Oh, there's a guy on the roof. Oh, shit. So check this out. This one's a callback, you guys. Oh, you're gonna be. You remember that cocaine in the White House? You guys remember that cocaine? Well, we got a story for all of you with the cocaine, guys. Oh, we got the cocaine story. Oh, we got updates on that, folks. Oh boy, do we. Before we jump into it, though, folks, who's in control of America's nukes right now? Is it Joey? Is it Biden? Meanwhile, we have Russia ships off the coast of Florida right now, and a full-blown war in Ukraine and Israel, not to mention Iran's about to attack Israel, which could lead to a full-fledged war in the Middle East. The war is about to be the most unstable thing that we've seen in a while, which will make the world unstable as well since basically World War II, except now with nuclear weapons, which is scary to think about. The stakes are 10 times higher. How do people like you and I stay safe? Well, every prepper needs to have RadioGuard ASE, the only FDA-approved drug to treat radioactive fallout. Only the feds have it until now. Now they finally released it to the public. That's why we partnered with 5G Free, the only company in the world, folks, that have a supply to this RadioGuard ASE and the ability to prescribe it. So you can get this and basically get your radiation emergency kit with RadioGuard, potassium iodide, and Zofran, and a Geiger counter. There's simply no other tool in the arsenal to protect against radioactive threat. They don't even have to sit there and actually bomb you on the ground. They'll explode that above our airwaves, and we're just effed because that radio fallout's just going to fall on us. Go to 5gfree.com/studio and use studio to save 10%. We have a radiation kit, and so could you. That's 5gfree.com/studio, code studio. Check that out, folks. Who knows what's going to happen here? You got to be a doomsday prepper nowadays. Get your ammo, get your firearm, get your generator that we talk about here on the show. Obviously get coffee, but also get that radiation. Make sure you and your family are taken care of. You never know what the hell's going to go down. So here we go. The White House, the cocaine gate on July 2nd. On July 2nd, a member of the Secret Service discovered a bag of cocaine in the White House. We all remember that. We covered it. We all thought it was Hunter's. According to a new report from Real Clear Politics, former Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, yes sir, that lady, who was appointed to her position in 2022 partly because of her close relationship with First Lady Jill Biden, wanted to destroy the evidence. Come again? Was appointed to her position in 2022 partly because of her close friendship and wanted to destroy the evidence. When the member of the Secret Service found the evidence, he reportedly wanted to implement a particular crime scene investigation protocol, but was then removed from the case. Look at this. The Secret Service closed its investigation on July 12th after it said it couldn't identify a suspect. No clue who came in and put the drugs there. The Secret Service released a statement. Folks, you could buy a hot dog, okay, 5 blocks from the Capitol, and you're on camera, and they've already investigated you for January 6th. These, you pay a parking ticket wrong, they're going to come after you. You don't sit there and file your taxes correctly because you put a penny wrong. They'll sit there and come after you. But, you come into the White House with drugs and put it in a cubby with all the security cameras and people around. No clue. Can't figure it out. There was no surveillance video footage found that provided investigative leads or any other means of investigators to identify who may have deposited the found substance in this area. Oh, okay. Without physical evidence, the investigation will not be able to single out a person of interest. Oh, convenient. From the hundreds of individuals who passed through the area where the cocaine was discovered, at this time, the Secret Service investigation is closed due to lack of physical evidence. Oh, okay. At the time the bag was found, President Joe Biden's son Hunter, who had a history of cocaine abuse, was staying at the White House. Oh, yeah, so she wanted to get rid of it, folks. Odd. Now, it's even more odd when you see this clip. When you see this clip of Hunter in a second, because he looks like he's all cracked out. And again, this comes after the whole Kim Cheadle thing. Oh, check this one out. Here's Hunter. Just, oh, fuck. Look at that. Oh, God, shit. Sweating profusely. Just like, oh. Folks, I'm just saying, it's a little, like, it's weird. It's a little weird. Oh, fuck. Thank you so much. Somebody said hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate it. Always love your guys' support. That comes from Krager over at Rumble. Hit that thumbs up button. Sell duct tape, Brad. Yeah, duct tape. Yeah, well, if they let us, if duct tape sponsors us, we'll do it. You do amazing things with duct tape. What was that show that guy would invent a lot of things? Not McGregor. I can't remember the dude's name. It was a show back in the day where they would build an airplane out of duct tape and sticks. Use like chewing gum and like rubber bands. Forgot his name. You guys will throw it in the chat. You grew up with it. Now, the big thing yesterday was the stock market because it plunged globally. It was trying to rebound somewhat. It was kind of going back and forth. We did cover it, but it dropped 1,000 points, and people are thinking that it's that we're headed into a recession. So I want to make sure I get to this because it's just kind of updates on points in terms of dropping. It plunged more than 1,000 points as global markets dropped amid growing concerns of a U.S. recession. The Dow Jones dropped almost 1,100 on Monday and was hovering around 2.5% drop as of 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. NASDAQ fell 4.1%. S&P 500 was 3.3%. I mean, Japan dropped more than 12%, folks. It was a lot of money lost yesterday. And the struggles followed a report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics where, again, now I want to emphasize something here, showed that unemployment rose to 4.3%. What I want everybody to understand when they come out with these reports, it's kind of a spotty number. It's like a placeholder. For the last 2 or 3 reports in terms of job numbers and performance in terms of the economy, they've come out and changed the number 2 to 3 months later. So for example, for like the second quarter information, they sat there and will come out with different numbers. First quarter, after a few weeks, they'll come out with different numbers. And so they inflated the job market before. We'll say the job market was 250,000, right? Oh, they'll come out and go, oh, sorry, whoops, yeah, we actually inflated that by like 76,000 jobs. We got to lower it by that much. So this is what they keep doing. So it could be unemployment, yeah, it says 4.3 here. It could very well be 5.3. They could adjust this 2-3 weeks later and nobody will cover it because the news cycle changes so much. It's a really remarkable thing and crafty way and a way to manipulate people as well as the markets to think things aren't as bad as maybe they are. Maybe it's better than they are. You know what I mean? I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would sit there and adjust it later to be better than what it was, but maybe they will. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them. So the market just took a nosedive yesterday and people are going, Kamalanomics is what it was called. That doesn't fit as well as Bidenomics, but Kamalanomics. It was the worst trading day for stock markets in nearly 2 years.
It was an ugly day. Just to give you some context here, this is the worst trading day for stock markets in nearly 2 years. In the early minutes of the session today, we saw around $1 trillion worth of wealth wiped off just a handful of the biggest tech stocks. So ugly is the way to describe it. It was an...
Just $1 trillion. Yeah, you gotta take a drink after that one. Just $1 trillion. Like, people can't fathom $1 trillion. It's so much money. You know what I mean? The shocking thing, I mean, Biden can't take a break here. This poor guy, Jesus. The dude gets driven out by his own party. The guy gave his life to the Democrat Party, lied on behalf of them, was a surrogate, implemented their crazy-ass policies, destroyed cities, destroyed states, destroyed a country, right? Did everything they asked. And he comes out and he goes, I want my legacy to be that I cured the economy. Yo! You couldn't write this. Poor guy. I don't feel sorry for him. I'm just saying, like, you can't write this. The crazy shit that we've seen in the last 6 months. The dude's like on his dying breath. I want to be known as fixing the economy and curing it. It's like, sir, we haven't seen anything like this in our lifetime. We're going into a recession. We just lost $1 trillion. Fuck. So here he is. It's just so crazy. So less than 2 weeks. I just think it's the funniest thing. I'm so sorry. It's like the guy's dying breath of what he wanted. Like, a reporter asked him what he wants his legacy for Gen Z to entail during the early hours, and he replied that I've cured the economy and the environment and a few other small things. And it's just everything burns down yesterday.
Over you. Let's been here so late.
Mr. President, what do you want your legacy for Gen Z to be?
Yeah, cure the economy.
When are you going to go?
And the environment. And a few other small things.
Can we stop with doing all the press conferences and speaking engagements right in front of a freaking airplane or like a helicopter? You know what I mean? That it's like blows our eardrums out every single time. So I just had to give that to you guys because you couldn't write itself. Like thing after thing with this guy. You know, he fights with this teleprompter. He can't sit there and go up a flight of stairs anymore, this or that. So I want my dying breath to be that the economy is cured and everybody's okay. It's like, sir, the Dow Jones is down 1,000. Oh, man. It's too good. I mean, really, I see you guys in the chat. You're laughing with me. I'm glad you find it funny. But you can't catch a break. I'm going to run again. No, you're not, man. We're going to put in the 25th Amendment. Fuck. Like everything. So if that wasn't bad enough, I know you're thinking like, dude, how could this get any worse for Biden? How could this get any worse for the White House? This right here. Biden's economic advisor leaves White House as markets are tumbling. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. The place is burning down. U.S. stock markets took a nosedive as we talked about yesterday and today. News broke Monday morning that senior economics advisor Gene Sperling was leaving the White House. Sources told the Associated Press that Sperling was transitioning to Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. Shit. Come on, man. I thought he was gone. Oh. I told you. It's like they transition. They sit there and burn something down. And nope, he's just transitioning over to Kamala Harris's campaign. So Democrats will vote for it. The guy that probably contributed to a lot of policy making in Joe Biden's decisions is now just transferring over to Kamala Harris's campaign to carry forth that idiotic agenda. At least you guys see, at least you just know that I do just read the headlines and I wait for real-time reaction. I thought he was gone. I thought he like dropped out, like he's like dodging a bullet. Guess not. Nope. He's just going over to one terrible administration to another. Makes sense. Makes sense why Democrats haven't figured things out in a long time, because they just sit there and they just move all together in one single unison. They just destroy one thing and then they move together. Here's another thing. They just like to destroy things. It's starting to make a little bit of sense now. Just a little bit of sense. Now, this was crazy yesterday, you guys. There's no real way of just addressing this. You have Representative Raskin. This dude's batshit crazy, by the way. Just batshit crazy. He reveals that Democrats have a contingency plan. So I think this is probably one of the biggest news stories of the week, easily. He has a contingency plan in the event that Donald Trump gets a victory in November, meaning he wins the election. They will invoke Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to prevent Trump from taking office. He predicts it will result in a civil war. Check this clip out, guys.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring that.
Wow. Look at the live chat. Lemon Lady, thank you so much for the follow. I see ya over at Rumble. Thank you so much for following us. We're building the community on Rumble. We got 63,000 subscribers over at YouTube. Folks, that's crazy. So showing their hand early. This is what they're going to do. They're at least going to attempt it. Doesn't mean it's actually going to work. But here they are again, trying to sit there and block democracy from taking place. From the Republic having a president of the United States that was voted for to be the representative. And this guy wants to take it from you. If you think that they're not going to try, you got another thing coming. This is the same party that removed one of their own people. And it's a guy that they liked. Can you imagine a guy that they don't like Donald Trump? They're going to try it January 6th. You saw it right there. They're going to sit there and try to remove him from office of the presidency, or at least stop him from becoming president. They've already been trying, folks. They tried to kill the guy. I mean, what more can they sit there and do? You know what I mean? So right there, we could have civil war in 2025. And speaking of freaking war, you got several personnel injured yesterday in a Iranian-backed terror attack on a base in Iraq. By the way, this is not the only time this has happened. This has been a constant theme under the Biden administration. Just the media doesn't really talk about it. And if they do talk about it, it's like on page 25 of the newspaper. You know what I mean? It's not mainstream news, the fact that our military personnel are being freaking bombed. So several U.S. personnel were injured. Now, I don't even know if people were killed. I've heard there's some people in critical condition. Take that with a grain of salt. Not 100% sure. But they were injured in an attack on an airbase in Iraq late Monday that was reportedly carried out by an Iranian-backed terrorist group. But don't worry, you guys. Joe Biden's giving them $10 billion in the same way that Barack Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash. I believe it was 1.7, for sure $1 billion cash. Cold hard, just pallets of cash. We can confirm that there was a suspected rocket attack today against U.S. and coalition forces in Iraq. Oh, just lovely. Initial indications are that several U.S. personnel were injured. Base personnel are conducting a post-attack damage assessment. Oh. Now, what was Joe Biden's response? Hey, don't do that. Stop that. That's not good. In the same way that Dollard, along with Harris, allowed 13 of our service members to be blown up in Afghanistan and give an entire country to the Taliban that started raping and pillaging villages and women. So that's a great thing. No, there's a lot of awesome stuff happening around the globe right now. So you have that taking place, right? You have most likely Iran was speculated to be attacking Israel yesterday. Like that's what they were going to do. I mean, even Donald Trump came out and was like, yeah, I heard intelligence that they're going to come out and do it. I don't believe that, as far as like when I went to bed, they hadn't done it yet. So you have Iran here requesting air defense systems from Russia. According to multiple sources, including the New York Times, Iranian media has reported that the Iranians have requested advanced air defense systems from Russia as it prepares for a possible war with Israel. That's the last thing we need right now. 2 Iranian officials confirmed that Iran has made the request and said Russia has started delivering advanced radars and air defense equipment. Additionally, it was reported that Russian military advisors are working with Iran to prepare its defense systems and electronic warfare. So we'll see what goes on in the Middle East. It ain't looking good, folks. It is not looking good at all. This also is the post here from the New York Times. Russia has started delivering. It is happening. Now, what that's going to turn into, I don't know. Is that going to turn into like an Axis power like we saw in World War II, where you have Russia, China now, Iran working in unison along with Greg? I don't even know. We'll see. But tensions are freaking tight, you guys. Things are really tight right now with the Middle East. In other news here that you guys are really going to love, you're going to at least save some money here, which is good. We try to save a little bit of good news towards the end of the show. Taxpayers are expected to save millions after COVID-era perk for illegal immigrants gets canceled. So, hey, we got something, right? I mean, it's not like the most extravagant thing, but you have Immigrations and Customs Enforcement ended a COVID-era program that granted hundreds of free minutes of video calls to illegal immigrants. Fox News Digital has learned a move that is estimated to save taxpayers more than $10 million a year. So maybe we could take that $10 million, put it towards building a border wall or something. That'd be great, but they won't do it. The federal agency began offering illegal immigrants in custody 520 minutes of free domestic and international phone calls and video calls per month. That was really it. That's all I wanted to show you guys. That's all we have in terms of good news. Because then we get back to bad news. So I don't know what it's like in your guys' states or countries. There was this 8-year-old kid that did like a 5th grade science project and talked about how like sea life was being destroyed by plastic straws, right? And they're like, okay, we need to ban all plastic straws. So in some places we have to use paper straws here and they just sit there and fall apart on you. Well, the Biden administration has come out and said they will ban Biden administration will ban federal government using plastic cutlery to combat climate change. These idiots. I've always used this analogy. Like, the world is a dumpster, right? If you're to use this as an analogy. We don't put our trash in it, but you have like India and China just unloading trash into it. That's like ours is a drop in the bucket compared to what they're doing. And they actually think that us taking away plastic straws and plastic cutlery, you're making a difference. You got to do your part. Look, I love clean air. I love a clean planet. But if you think this is actually going to stop anything, the Biden administration announced the plan to target plastic pollution, dedicating particular focus to phase out single-use plastics such as kitchen cutlery, cups, and straws across federal departments. Biden announced the order taking aim at the climate crisis in July, which would require an all-hands-on-deck response. The president committed to taking ambitious actions to end plastic pollution and is calling upon the global community to do the same, with the goal to reduce the global production of consumption of virgin plastics. Sure glad you have priorities in straight, Mr. President, because we don't have anything else that we need to be talking about. The fact that there's illegal aliens pouring across the border, there's terrorists here. Like that, I think that's what frustrates me the most. When I see stuff come out like this, it's like, is this where we're spending our time? This is the, and it makes sense for Democrats, right? Because this is an existential threat, like Donald Trump. Climate change is as much as a threat as Donald Trump is. That's why they tried to get rid of the guy by killing him. Now, this is what they want to focus on is climate change. Well, shouldn't you be in China and India talking to them about climate change? Because they're polluting way more than we are. They don't want to do that. Why would they? Why would they? Why would they want to do all these things? Now, with them having that focus and not focusing on the economy, it came out yesterday that just 25% of registered voters said they feel better off financially under Harris, while nearly half said they would be better off under a second term of Trump.
Still, in a new poll, just 25% of registered voters said they'd be better off financially under a President Harris, while nearly half said they'd be better off under a second Trump term. Still.
Now, you see these numbers, right? Who knows how the questions were proposed? It only goes to August 2nd. I'm sure this number is probably higher now based on what took place in the last 2 days. But people will still vote for Kamala Harris. That's the wild thing. People will still go out of their way to vote for Kamala Harris. And you're probably thinking, Brad, how could they vote for Kamala Harris? She sucks. Well, folks, people are sleeping. People are not awake. And for us here, we got to wake up a little bit ourselves because it's morning. And we do this sucker at 6 a.m. in the morning. So how do I wake up? How do I get my little pep in? How do I have this kind of energy, baby? Well, we drink 1775 coffee here, folks. It's time to say goodbye to Starbucks and say hello to Rumble 1775 coffee, folks. Even financially, you should be brewing your own coffee at home. It's cheaper. And Kamalanomics is here along with Bidenomics. Things are rough, folks. You got to brew your own coffee. Unlike other brands, this coffee backs free speech and is unapologetic about it. We cover them here almost every single day. They're a fabulous sponsor. Visit 1775coffee.com, folks. They advocate our values, and we got to support companies like that. Use promo code STUDIO to get 15% off. See, you guys were buying this stuff up at 40% the other day. Now they're only doing 15 because you're going to put them out of business. The coffee comes in medium and dark roast. As I've always mentioned, I'm a dark roast guy. I love the flavor. For me, the dark roast almost tastes like a chocolate. It also comes in a Peabody. That one's like a Kona coffee if you like Kona coffee. In other words, it's really premium, folks. You're not going to sit there and get that gristle or that grime. You're just going to sit there and have premium, smooth coffee on that tongue, which I absolutely love. You got to wet your whistle with it. You sip it throughout the day, folks. You keep you going. Click the link in the live chat or the description. We got a QR code, folks. If you're one of those that doesn't know how to work a QR code, you literally just put your camera phone up to it, like you're taking a photo, and you just click on the link. Or you just go directly to 1775coffee.com and use promo code STUDIO to get 15% off today. You might be thinking, damn, I was holding up. I wanted to get the 40. Well, you should have got the 40 yesterday. The 40 will be back, I'm sure, folks. I always like to read the live chat really quick. I always love making sure I recognize you guys. His servant, Snarf, Danielle, I see y'all in there. Cowboy, Lucky Kong. Is Lucky Kong new? Am I just sitting there and I've been living under a rock? Lucky Kong, we're glad to have you if you're new. Thank you so much for always being here. We got Gavin. Lily B's over here. Lily B, I did get your email, by the way. Please don't feel like, just because I didn't respond that I didn't get it. I do get the emails. Autumn's here. Autumn, we recognized your birthday. That was last week, by the way. I don't think you've been in here. We recognized your birthday. Happy 21st, by the way. Crazy. I don't think she's really 21, but I'm not going to say her age, but her birthday was last week. So is Sunset. Someone needs to sell Patriot tea. Ooh, that's not a bad business venture right there. There's something you could do with that, like the Boston Tea Party. You know what I mean? Drinking coffee is the best. Drink more coffee. Doctors say more coffee helps the beard grow strong. That's exactly right. I get up with that much energy. Do you really? I don't. Yo, you guys see me at my worst, basically. Snarf, Lulu, I see all of you. It's great hanging out with you, Patriots. Thank you so much for even joining us in these mornings. I know it's early, but that's the time slot. We always have to end at 7, folks, because your boy has to go to work now. Make sure you support us by hitting that like button. If you want to check out our products, go to baldbradstore.com. We're also on Twitter. Follow me over there. We do a lot of postings with breaking news and things like that, so you'll stay up to date. And with that being said, we'll be back here tomorrow with more news, I'm sure, on the whole Kamala Harris, Tim Waltz shenanigans on what they believe and how they're going to drive the country into the ground. But, folks, with that being said, I hope you have a blessed day. We'll be back here tomorrow, 7 a.m. 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And with that being said, take care, Patriots.